These pieces are small, which is things that the government would have missed.
Did the CIA manipulate the news you read this morning?
We talked about fake news earlier in your show. What about biased news?
Was Princess Diana's death really just a tragic accident, or something more? And was Hitler taken down by his own inner circle? Let's pull back the curtain on all these chilling secrets that were kept from us for a reason. Some believe the White House once had a secret president, and she wore pearls, not a tie. When President Woodrow Wilson suffered a severe stroke in 1919, the nation was told he needed rest.
The president, he's very tired, and he will be resting. He's very tired.
But behind closed doors, his wife Edith Wilson quietly took the reins. For over a year, she reviewed documents, controlled access to him, and made key decisions. Officially, she was just helping. Unofficially, some historians whisper that she was acting president without ever being elected. The government denied it, calling her role stewardship, not leadership. But to this day, many suspect the US was ruled by a hidden hand in lace gloves. I'd say she rewrote history without ever picking up a pen. White Sox scandal. The game looked like baseball, but something far darker was hiding behind the gloves and bats. In 1919, the Chicago White Sox were expected to crush the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series, but instead, they played too poorly. Whispers spread, and soon a shocking truth unraveled. 8 players had secretly agreed to lose on purpose. They'd taken money from gamblers to throw the series. Though banned from baseball, the players never faced criminal charges. Some still argue they were framed. Others say they were just pawns in a larger scheme. The real winner wasn't the Reds. It was the shadows pulling the strings behind the scenes. Faked Gulf War testimony. What if the war you thought you knew was built on a lie? In 1990, the world watched in horror as a Kuwaiti girl named Nayira tearfully testified before Congress, claiming that Iraqi soldiers were ripping babies from incubators in Kuwait.
While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators.
Her emotional account swayed public opinion and helped pave the way for the U.S. invasion of Iraq. But here is the twist. It was later revealed that Nayira was the daughter of a Kuwaiti ambassador, and her testimony was staged by a PR firm.
No human rights group or news outlet could confirm what she said. It also turned out Nayira was not just any Kuwaiti teenager. She was the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador.
Despite this, President George Bush announced the war, citing the need to protect Kuwaiti sovereignty. The real battle was for the truth, which many were too eager to overlook. Sugar industry dirty secret. A new report has uncovered a startling truth. For decades, the sugar industry may have orchestrated a campaign to mislead the public about the real causes of heart disease. In the 1960s, powerful sugar companies funded research that shifted the blame from sugar to fat, despite growing evidence linking sugar to various health problems. This calculated manipulation influenced nutrition guidelines and countless studies, all while sugar's dangerous role was downplayed. The shocking revelation suggests that the industry carefully controlled the narrative.
The lead Harvard scientist in Project 226 went on to work for the U.S. government to help draft dietary guidelines, which for decades resisted daily limits on sugar,
casting fat as the villain, while sugar's impact went unchecked. Poison dart? The CIA has always kept its most secretive tools hidden from the public. One of these is a dart-firing pistol, designed for quiet and precise missions. This small weapon could shoot darts filled with substances like tranquilizers that could cause serious harm. It was used in covert operations, allowing agents to take down targets without making a sound.
Does this pistol fire the dart? When it fires silently? Almost silently.
The pistol left no trace behind, making it perfect for stealthy missions. Despite its power, little is known about how often it was used or how many lives it may have affected. Ban on booze. During the Prohibition era, adult beverages were banned across the US, but people still found ways to indulge. To stop this, the government took a shocking step, adding chemicals to industrial liquids, which bootleggers often use to make illegal drinks. This wasn't a secret mistake. It was done on purpose, hoping the danger would scare people into staying sober. But it didn't work. People kept drinking, unaware of the risk. On Christmas Day in 1926 alone, 66 people lost their lives from it. Many believe this was one of the darkest tactics ever used during Prohibition. Hitler versus soldiers. Sometimes, danger doesn't come from enemies, it comes from those closest to you. During World War II, secret plans were made to stop Hitler. These weren't just made by outsiders. Some believe people from his own circle wanted him removed. As the war reached its final stage, it's said that someone close to him betrayed him, trapping him in a hopeless situation. Many believe this betrayal was the final move that ended his hold on power. The full story was never shared clearly, but behind the fall, betrayal played a quiet yet powerful role. It wasn't just war that ended everything. It was an effort from within his own people. Gay strategy. They said it ended the war, but some believe the Enola Gay's mission had another purpose. It was the name of a U.S. aircraft that took off on a secret mission. According to some experts, the radiation wasn't ordinary. It was part of a classified experiment designed to alter human behavior, especially to target masculinity.
The idea was that if soldiers suddenly all became irresistible to one another, that unit...
Rumors spread that certain frequencies or chemical compounds were meant to redirect soldiers' instincts, changing them in ways never admitted publicly. Officials deny all claims. But, if true, maybe the real impact of the bomb wasn't just a military victory. Nazi scientists with U.S. After World War II, the U.S. was in a race against other countries to reach the moon. To do this, they needed the help of scientists with advanced knowledge, even if their pasts were dark. Many German scientists, some who had worked for the Nazis, were brought to America. Among them were Jewish scientists, some of whom had once faced terrible treatment from the Nazis. Together, these scientists worked on new technologies that would eventually make the moon landing possible. It's strange to think that the very minds once used for war helped bring humans to space. The business plot. In 1935, Major General Smedley D. Butler exposed a fascist plot to overthrow President Franklin D. Roosevelt. A group of wealthy businessmen, upset with Roosevelt's policies, reportedly wanted to use force to replace him with a dictator. Butler, a decorated war hero, claimed they tried to recruit him to lead the movement.
Which I believe might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship.
However, his testimony stopped the plot from advancing, and no one was ever held accountable. It remains one of America's most shocking untold stories. Tuskegee study. For 40 years, a horrible secret was kept hidden. In the Tuskegee study, 600 African-American men were tricked into believing they were being treated for a simple illness. Instead, they were left untreated for syphilis, even after a cure was found. These men, many unaware of the truth, suffered in silence as the study continued. The truth finally came out in 1972, shocking the world.
On behalf of the American people, what the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry.
The Tuskegee study remains one of the darkest chapters in medical history, raising questions about trust and ethics in science. Operation Condor. Operation Condor was a secret plan that began in the 1970s. It involved several South American countries working together to secretly track, torture, and eliminate political opponents. Led by dictatorships in countries like Argentina, Chile, and Brazil, the operation targeted anyone suspected of being anti-government. The shocking part? It wasn't just about local violence. It was a covert international effort to silence opposition. Thousands disappeared, and many were never found. The operation remained hidden for years, leaving a legacy of pain and mistrust across the region. John Lennon. In the 1970s, John Lennon, the famous Beatle, became the target of an FBI investigation. His anti-war activism and support for political causes made him a threat in the eyes of the U.S. government.
Our job now is to tell them that there is still hope and we still have things to do.
The FBI spied on Lennon, secretly tracking his every move, even trying to deport him. They feared his influence on the youth and his growing activism. This mystery case raised questions about freedom, privacy, and how far the government would go to silence those who opposed it.
We try to fight back. They fought back too with their power of wrong. We end up working together.
FBI secret.
Justice Department probe has found the FBI improperly monitored people for the ethical treatment of animals, Greenpeace, the Catholic worker, and a Quaker peace activist.
Between 2001 and 2006, a Justice Department probe found the FBI spied on peaceful activist groups without cause. Targets included Greenpeace, PETA, and Quaker peace activists. Some were wrongly flagged as terrorists. The FBI extended surveillance even without proof of illegal activity. In one case, Director Robert Mueller gave false info to Congress about an anti-war rally, though he was reportedly misinformed. It's the kind of story that makes you wonder who's really being watched and why. Watergate scandal. In 1972, burglars broke into the Democratic Party office at the Watergate complex. They weren't just thieves. They were connected to President Nixon's re-election team. As investigations unfolded, it was revealed that Nixon's team had spied on opponents and tried to cover it up. Tapes from the White House exposed Nixon's involvement. He resigned in 1974, becoming the first U.S. president to do so. It started with a break-in, but ended with a presidency shattered by secrets and tape reels.
But as president, I must put the interests of America first. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Government spying us. Many people don't realize how much the government watches us. They collect data from phones, internet searches, emails, and social media. Sometimes they work with big tech companies or use special tools to track online activity.
You would just send to a phone number, they'd have full remote access to your phone.
Without opening the text.
Without opening anything.
Holy shit.
Even apps can quietly share your location or messages. Programs like Prism, exposed by Edward Snowden, showed how deep this spying goes. It's not always about catching criminals sometimes, it's just control. CIA's mind control experiment. In the mid-20th century, a covert program delved into the potential of mind control, using controversial and often dangerous methods. Psychotropic substances, hypnosis, and extreme sensory techniques were employed on unwitting individuals, all in the name of experimentation. The true scope of the program remained hidden for decades, its dark objectives and consequences only coming to light much later. It's unsettling to think how far some would go in the pursuit of power over the mind. Operation Menu. Operation Menu was a secretive campaign during the Vietnam War carried out between 1969 and 1970. The U.S. targeted Cambodia, hoping to destroy North Vietnamese supply lines and hideouts. What made it unsettling was its secrecy. Neither the public nor Congress knew about it at the time. When the operation was exposed, it stirred controversy and anger worldwide, especially since innocent lives were lost. In war, not everything is what it seems, and some actions leave scars that take years to heal. Lavon Affair. In 1954, a covert operation called the Lavon Affair shocked the world. Israeli agents attempted to bomb U.S. targets in Egypt, hoping to frame Egyptian nationalists and create tensions between the U.S. and Egypt. The plan, however, backfired when agents were caught, and the operation was exposed. Israel initially denied involvement, but later admitted to the attack. The affair embarrassed both nations and left a cloud of suspicion over secret operations. Philadelphia Experiment. In 1943, something strange reportedly happened to a U.S. Navy ship, the Philadelphia Experiment. Witnesses claim the USS Eldridge vanished from its dock, reappeared hundreds of miles away, then returned all within minutes. Some even said sailors were left confused, hurt, or stuck inside the ship's walls. Theories suggest it involved time travel or warping space itself. Though the government denies it, stories still swirl. Whatever really happened that day, it left behind a mystery too strange for time to erase. BCCI scandal. The BCCI scandal rocked the world in 1991. This global bank wasn't just moving money, it was hiding it for drug traffickers, corrupt leaders, and groups tied to terror. With secret accounts and fake companies, BCCI operated in over 70 countries while billions vanished. Even worse, it had links to powerful people and intelligence agencies. Behind its polished image, this bank was running one of the biggest frauds ever seen, a trusted name, quietly fueling the world's darkest business.
And I explained to them that this was no ordinary bank, that there were extraordinary things happening, and that whatever they were doing, they shouldn't be in the business.
Culture in Hollywood.
There is Hollywood's other dirty secret that victimizes the most vulnerable, children. And someone who's spoken out about this and is painfully aware is former child star Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman has claimed that he and his friend, Corey Haim, were victims of inappropriate behavior by powerful figures in Hollywood.
Freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff.
Even during the filming of The Lost Boys. 1987, Feldman has spoken out about the abuse he says many child actors endured, hoping to shine a light on the dark side of the industry. He believes the truth has been buried for years, protecting those responsible while silencing the voices of young stars who suffered in silence.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them.
Exxon Mobil.
A string of lawsuits targeting the fossil fuel companies. Some of the plaintiffs making the argument that the companies knew the threat posed by their products, but misled the public, and that there was no cause for alarm.
ExxonMobil allegedly knew about the dangers of climate change long before it became a global crisis. Internal documents reveal that the company's own scientists warned about the risks of fossil fuels in the 1970s and 1980s. Despite this, Exxon chose to suppress the truth, even funding campaigns to cast doubt on climate science. This has led many to question, did Exxon put profits over the planet, delaying action and potentially making the climate crisis worse?
What if Exxon had continued down the path of accepting climate change, being a good faith actor in all of this, working with the government? Where would we be right now if the biggest oil company in the world, a leader in industry, had done that?
Breakfast myth.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But is that the truth?
For decades, we were told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But this idea may have been cooked up by cereal companies. Brands like Kellogg's funded studies and ad campaigns to push morning meals, especially ones from a box. Turns out, science never firmly proved that skipping breakfast is harmful. The real truth? It was a clever marketing move, and we've been pouring milk over a myth ever since.
I am a big breakfast fan. I have seen it work for many, many clients. When you have breakfast, you lay the foundation for eating healthy for the day.
CIA and Dalai Lama. For years, whispers surrounded the Dalai Lama's unexpected ally, the CIA. In the 1950s and 60s, the agency secretly funded Tibetan resistance fighters, hoping to disrupt Chinese control. Reports say the Dalai Lama's exile government even received covert support, though later revealed the connection added a twist to the peaceful leader's image. Was it strategy or survival? Either way, this shadowy partnership added a strange layer to one of history's most iconic figures. FBI and Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway believed the FBI was watching him, but many dismissed it as paranoia. He spoke of being followed, phones tapped, and eyes in the shadows. After his passing, some linked his fears to mental illness. But decades later, declassified files confirmed it. The FBI had indeed monitored him for years. His instincts weren't madness. They were spot on. Sometimes, the truth waits patiently in a locked drawer, only to echo louder than fiction ever could. CIA controlling media. In the early Cold War days, the CIA launched a secret media operation called Operation Mockingbird. Its goal, quietly control public opinion by influencing news. Journalists were bribed or pressured to write certain stories or bury them. This wasn't limited to the U.S. Foreign media, was also targeted. In 1975, the Church Committee confirmed the operation's existence. Later, Carl Bernstein revealed over 400 media figures were involved. It makes you wonder how many headlines were shaped by hidden hands. The fruit machine.
Our field investigation has determined that you are a homosexual. How do you respond to this charge?
During the Cold War, Canada ran a secret program to root out LGBTQ+ individuals from government and military jobs. It was nicknamed the Fruit Machine, a device believed to detect behavior considered a security risk by measuring pupil dilation and physical response. Thousands were interrogated, followed, and pushed out of careers, often without clear cause. It wasn't just discrimination, it was a systemic purge based on fear. Decades later, Canada formally apologized.
Telling them in one of the interviews, I said, "You can't do this." I said, "This is Canada." And he looked me in the eye and he said, "We're the military, we can do what we want."
Weather modification.
The Aerosarin was in the OSS designing weapon systems during World War II, and at a time when the OSS was looking into ways to weaponize weapons.
Weather as a weapon? That's exactly what this theory explores. Some believe that militaries have tried to control weather to gain an upper hand. From cloud seeding to secret experiments, there are claims of strange projects and declassified files suggesting nature may have been turned into a battlefield. If true, it raises unsettling questions. Could the sky not only bring rain, but also be used as a strategic tool?
You wonder if you could steer a tornado. What would it take? Even a nuclear weapon might just nudge it, if even that.
Bayer spreads HIV. Some secrets are buried in government files, but others hide in the shadows of the private sector. In the 1980s, German pharmaceutical giant Bayer, through its subsidiary Cutter Biological, created a blood-clotting medicine for hemophiliacs. What seemed like a life-saving treatment was actually contaminated with HIV. Instead of pulling the dangerous product, Bayer shipped it to developing countries, knowing it would harm thousands. Over 20,000 people were infected. What's even more unsettling, this may just be one piece of a much larger puzzle we've yet to fully unravel.
Wanted to keep it secret. They didn't want to publicize something which would be damaging for the company.
Paul McCartney. In the late 60s, a bizarre theory took hold. Paul McCartney wasn't who he seemed to be. Whispers began that the Beatles had quietly replaced him with a look-alike after a life-altering event. Fans pointed to hidden messages in songs, odd symbols on album covers, and strange behavior in interviews. Paul brushed it off. But for many, the clues are too strange to ignore. It's a theory that won't go away, and maybe that's exactly how it was planned. Operation Whitecoat. Back in the 1950s, a group of volunteer soldiers agreed to something unusual, Operation Whitecoat.
We went into a change room, changed into scrubs, then went up the elevator to a catwalk.
These young men, many of them conscientious objectors, were exposed to dangerous bacteria and viruses to help develop defenses against biological warfare. They did it quietly, tucked away in labs, often unaware of what was entering their bodies. Officially, it was for the greater good. But looking back, the line between medical research and human experimentation feels far thinner than anyone ever admitted.
Tests were conducted in such a manner that when the aerosol was generated, each volunteer received a precisely metered dosage of the organism.
Planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence is a sneaky game companies play to make sure you keep buying new stuff. Imagine your phone or car breaking down just when it's almost out of warranty. It's not a coincidence. Companies design products that wear out or become outdated quickly, pushing you to upgrade. Whether it's that phone that slows down or a washing machine that starts acting up, you might find yourself asking, is this all just part of the plan? It's a clever trick, but it often leaves us paying the price. Bohemian Grove. Deep in the woods of California, Bohemian Grove hides a secret. Every year, powerful elites, politicians, business tycoons, and celebrities gather at this remote retreat, where strange rituals and shadowy decisions are rumored to take place. The members take part in a bizarre ceremony, including the burning of a giant owl statue, said to represent dark power. Though some claim it's harmless, others believe it's where the world's most sinister plans are formed behind closed doors. It's a place where secrets thrive. Scientologists. Scientology, a religion founded by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard, has long been surrounded by mystery and controversy. While its followers claim it offers spiritual enlightenment, many critics see it as a dangerous cult. The Church of Scientology is known for its strict control over members and its aggressive tactics against critics. Stories of secretive practices, bizarre rituals, and hidden knowledge have only added to the enigma. Is it truly a path to spiritual freedom, or a deeply hidden, manipulative empire? The truth remains locked away in the shadows.
No, you know what? It's something that has helped me incredibly in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been a Scientologist for over 30 years,
Yeah.
and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be where I am.
Roswell cover-up. In 1947, a mysterious crash in Roswell, New Mexico, set off a firestorm of speculation. New evidence points to a cover-up and raises doubts about the original story. What really happened that night? As more documents surface, we realize the truth might be even stranger than we've imagined. Could there be more to the Roswell incident than we'll ever know? It seems some secrets are still locked away, waiting to be revealed. Gorillas or cryptids. In 2016, a gorilla's sudden, terrifying charge at a zoo's glass barrier left everyone stunned when the glass shattered under its immense force. But was this outburst just a random act, or was something more mysterious at play? Some believe the gorilla may have sensed something unseen, a hidden energy or presence. The incident raised eerie questions. Was the gorilla reacting to something beyond the ordinary, or was the barrier itself more than just glass?
Oh, man.
Rogue waves. Rogue waves, towering as high as 100 feet, are the ocean's hidden monsters. These massive waves rise without warning in the calmest seas, terrifying anyone caught in their path. Some say they're caused by mysterious undersea currents or even seismic activity beneath the surface. Sailors have long whispered of these giant waves. One thing's certain: when rogue waves strike, they leave behind nothing but fear and questions about what secrets the ocean still hides. Let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. In the quiet towns of Japan, girls vanished without a trace. For years, no one knew why until a shocking truth surfaced.
Talking about children being snatched off the streets and beaches of Japan.
These weren't ordinary disappearances. They were abductions, carried out by North Korean agents in the shadows of the 1970s and 80s.
The story of the Japanese abductions and the nuclear talks are inextricably intertwined.
The women were taken across the sea, forced into lives they never chose. Families waited, hoping for a knock on the door that never came. Even now, decades later, the silence surrounding these stories feels heavier than ever, like a wound. History refuses to close.
North Korean said she had committed suicide at the age of 29. But when the remains they provided didn't match her DNA, Megami became a powerful symbol of Japan's national mistrust of North Korea.